Alright, I don't know how this is going to work. It's super windy. I hope you can hear me. Now there's a siren going off in the background, but I really feel compelled to talk about how to make climate action doable in the midst of really busy lives, because like cancer doesn't make time and room for climate action. The busyness of kids' lives and schedules and work doesn't stop to allow room for something like climate action. Nothing stops to make room for this. And yet we're living in a time that if we don't act on behalf of the well-being of our planet, we're gonna enter a situation where we hit a point of no return. And so one of the things I feel really compelled to teach, mentor, be an example for, coach, is how to make sustainable doable, and how to make regeneration and regenerating our planet doable in the midst of everything that's going on. And I'm thinking, as I'm driving today, it's kind of all systems, all level kind of thing. And so today, one of the things that I'm making room for is to go and just put some flyers on people's doors, just to teach them, show them here's what you do when you vote. Here's where you need to go. If you need a ride, this is a person that you can call to get a ride to go vote. Here's the people that are going to be on your ballot. If you have questions, here's information about them. So that's one of the ways, because climate action and sustainability, on the big scale, the macro scale, is really a systems-wide change. And so we affect our systems by our vote, and by telling our politicians through our vote what we value. On a personal level, climate action is it's the car that I drive, and the fuel, the gas mileage, that I get through the choices that I make in vehicles. It's also, the trips that I make in the car or that I don't make in the car. It's also, things that I do to kind of help keep our farm running so that we can grow and utilize as much of our produce as possible. It also is prioritizing. So, we've got people that have offered to help right now, and sometimes it feels really hard to receive help. But what I've had to acknowledge for myself is that, there's some things that people can do easily. My mother-in-law has generously offered to go grocery shopping, and she's like, is there anything else I can do? I was like, if you want to fold laundry, folding laundry would be awesome, because that frees me up to, squeeze in some other things that I really care about. That if I'm folding laundry and I'm going grocery shopping, then there's things that I can't do. But if she's willing to do those things and is able to, it allows me to prioritize doing the things that I really feel passionate about and care about, in the midst of also taking care of my husband and tending to my daughters. And doing those things fills my cup. So, and I think there's also another level, which is an emotional and spiritual level. So this morning, I found myself just anxious about the day, and anxious about squeezing everything in. And I felt oh, my daughters need me for this, and Tim needs me for this, and our farm needs me for this. And but there were a few things in the day that I feel oh, those are things that I want to do for myself, for my own well-being, and they kind of fit in with like paving the way towards the future that is meaningful to me. And one of those things was building community and helping someone who has helped us in a hard time, and I wanted to go and help her and her family. And the other thing was like going and putting these just hanging these like little things on people's doors. And I could feel the anxiety growing, and the anxiety was growing because like I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm needed in so many different places, and how do I fit this in? And just took a deep breath and was like, oh, I just need to breathe and trust that there is enough space, there is enough room, and there's enough room for me to do the things that matter to me, and also to attend to the things going on around me. And just breathing into it and kind of shifting my mindset to see that there's room, like there's room for all of it. I just have to be clear on what my priorities are. Helped me like release that tension and the anxiety that there wasn't enough time, there wouldn't be enough like of whatever for me to do those things that matter to me. Was really helpful. So I'm talking about these things because I think one of the things that I don't know, I think if I were like a teenager or in college or, in my early 20s, and I didn't have all of the responsibilities of a family and a home and, and now a husband with cancer, like it would be a lot easier to go out and hit the streets and, advocate for the world that I want to live in. At one point in time of my own life, like I don't ever want to own more than can fit in my car. I just, like, my priorities were really different because I didn't have all of the responsibilities that I have now. And some of those responsibilities I've chosen, but some of them are just like, I open to having children and to caring for my children, to raising them. And, I need to have certain things to be able to do that, but it just causes my priorities to shift. And so now I'm living in a time where like advocating for the well-being of our planet, climate action and environmental work is just as important as it always has been, but it has to look really different now than it looked for me in the past. And I think it's in all of us to be able to do this work. And cancer is not going to stop and make room for us to address this problem. Chores aren't going to stop. Our children aren't going to stop needing us in certain ways. And yet we all have to find a way to like rise to the occasion and meet the crisis of our environment and our planet kind of head on and find ways to help our planet regenerate in a way that like it's really about we're really like, it's a selfish act because it's really we want our planet to regenerate so that we can continue to live here and raise our children here and have all of the things that make life worth living for. And it's beautiful because as I'm talking, there's a deer running across behind the screen here. And that deer like can't be advocating for itself. All the nature that's surrounding me can't be advocating for itself. And what I'm standing, the backdrop here is like I think it's like duck stamp dollars that have helped, preserve this land which is pretty cool. And I think at one point in time somebody voted for that, so that our tax dollars could, our tax dollars or our stamp dollars or whatever could contribute to, the health and well-being of our planet, so that all creatures, great and small, can live here and continue on. So making sustainable doable, making climate action doable in the midst of a really busy life, like, I'm all about that because it matters to me, and I think it matters to all of us. I'm sure it matters to all of us. We just have to figure out ways to prioritize it and make it happen. And I know we're all up for the task. We just have to help each other figure out how to fit it in and how to make room for it, because the future depends on it. The future of ourselves, of our children, of our grandchildren, of our great-grandchildren, and beyond. So, all right, I'm back at it, but have a wonderful day. Thanks for listening.